to order for October the 19th. Madam Clerk, pledge please.
Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Councilman Asbill.
Present.
Councilman Buddy.
Present.
Councilman Chatelain.
Present.
Councilman Johnston.
Present.
Councilman Ricks is absent. Mayor Bodier.
Present.
Police Chief LaPree.
Present.
Fire Chief St. Cyr is absent. Finance Director Todd Turnion.
Present.
City Attorney Scott Stansberry. Myself, Carrie Hughes, is clerks present. Mayor's announcements.
Just two things I'd like to make announcements on. Night Out Against Crime was Tuesday night. It was an amazing event. If you missed it, please come join us next year because it was really very informational and a great turnout. Had a lot of food. It was real fun. It's a really good community event. Second, Halloween's coming up. You know, it's always big back in Imperial Woods, so please be safe and have fun and happy Halloween to everyone. Madam Clerk? Oh, I do have one more announcement. Tomorrow is my 11th anniversary, my 11-year anniversary. So if I didn't say something, I'd probably get in trouble with my wife. But I love you, baby, and happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, man.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversry. So sweet.
Man, did somebody die?
Who died?
Why is the flags at half-mast?
We don't know what happened there. I think it just slid down the pole.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering. I thought somebody passed away. I didn't know.
Approval of minutes. Reading of the minutes of the council meeting on September 21st, 2023.
Move to dispense with the reading of the minutes.
We have a motion on the floor to move with dispense of the reading of the minutes by Councilman Asbill. We're now open for public hearing. No one coming forth. We'll now close public hearing. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Buddy. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
4 years.
4 yeas.
4 yeas.
4 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absent.
Approval of the minutes of the council meeting on September 21st, 2023.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill to approve those minutes. We'll open for public hearing. No one coming forth. We'll now close public hearing. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Buddy. All in favor?
Yay.
4
Abstain.
yeas, 0 nays, 1 abstention.
Really?
3 yeas.
3-1-1, yeah.
Oh, 3-0-1.
310.
3-0-1.
Oh,
No,
3-0.
3-1-0.
3-0-1.
Well, there's one
Who-
abstention is the last one.
Who
Oh, so
voted?
you're
abstaining?
Who abstained?
Oh, so Jason abstained. So I'm sorry, Madam Clerk, for the record, it's 3 yeas, 0 nays, 2 abstentions. I'm
One
sorry.
abstention.
There you go. 3 yeas, 0
got it.
nays, 1 absent, 1 abstention.
Communications. Reading of the minutes of the planning and zoning meeting on October 4th, 2023.
We have a motion on the floor by Councilman Chatelain to dispense with the reading of the minutes. We're now open for public hearing. All in favor? Please come forth. No one coming forth. We'll now
Second.
close public hearing. We have a second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Okay, here we go. Was that a yay? All right. 4 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absent.
Approval of the minutes of the planning and zoning meeting on
Move to
October
approve.
4th,
We have a
2023.
motion by Councilman Johnson to approve those minutes.
me?
We're now open for public hearing. No one coming forth. We'll now close public hearing. We have a second by Councilman Chatelain to approve those minutes. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
4 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. Madam Clerk.
Okay, we have no resolutions. Ordinances for approval. Proposed ordinance number 2023-20 that was deferred on 9/21/23. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Chatelain and seconded by Councilman Buddy. An ordinance approving the rezoning of lots 3, 4, 5, and 6, Square D, Riverside Park Subdivision, City of Harahan, Parish of Jefferson, State of Louisiana, from R1A, Single Family Residential, to GOM, General Office Mixed Use, as per a plan made by R.W. Krebs Professional Land Surveying, LLC, dated July 20th, 2023.
Okay, we're now open for public hearing. Anyone wanting to come forth and speak on proposed ordinance number 2023-20, please come to the podium and state your name and address.
Y'all want to speak on this?
You want to tell them
Give me 1 second, Ms. Barber.
Yeah, please.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Barber, we're going to stay to the 3-minute rule tonight, please.
Oh, believe me, it'll be shorter than that.
Thank
I
you.
done said what I had to say. Okay, Barbara Harney, 164 Glenwood Avenue, Harahan. At the last council meeting, I presented the council with 19 pages of signatures against this rezoning. Spot zoning is illegal. 5 family homes, families, remember me? Family homes abut this house. There's 2 apartments in there from what I hear. It's like transient people. We abut her yard, 5 of us. We want to keep our neighborhood safe. Please deny this rezoning. And I also want to propose to the council that when petitions are made for rezoning, that the address is noted in all the advertising. When subdividing a property, please list the address. Or tax sales, please list the address so people won't know where these properties are. When you put a property description, people are in the dark and they kind of look past it. A transparent government should be providing this. So please listen to what I just said. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? All right, no one else coming? Okay.
Yep.
Good evening. Thank you for this opportunity to make a statement. I am Janet Janusa. I live at 51 Glenwood in Harahan. I've been there for 24 years. We've enjoyed a very quiet, peaceful, family-oriented community. I strongly oppose the rezoning of this property on Jefferson Highway. If that would happen, the ripple effect would be devastating. If it would happen, our neighborhood would be devastated. Think about what would happen if your children were on a street and all this commercial mess was going up and down. So I strongly oppose it, and I hope you will oppose it also. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lisa Bordelon. I'm at 165 Berkeley. I'm also against it. To me, if you're going to rent a room to people, how do you know what these people are even about?
I'm sorry, could you speak up just a little bit, please?
If you're going to rent rooms to people, how do you know what these people are even about? I have lived in Harahan for 30 years and have never felt like I had to lock my doors at night. If they do this, then you're going to have to lock your door, and it's just ruining Harahan. I mean, everybody wants to live here because it's nice and it's quiet and it's safe. And
Man,
I just,
I don't see any applications for room rentals. I basically see a
well,
zoning
that's what we were
change.
told.
I mean, I just see a zoning change. I'm just letting you know what's on the agenda.
Well, I'm telling you that's what's going to happen. And they're already renting rooms out of the house to just people, one room. Okay? So if you rezone it, then they can do whatever they want with it. It's just not fair.
May I say something, Mayor? The problem is,
You
these
wanna-
people are
you wanna-
saying this.
You want to let me close?
I'm
public
sorry, I
comment?
just want to add to what she just said, if that's
Let me-
okay.
It's okay.
But they still want to say a few things.
Yeah.
I just want to add to what Lisa just said. The reason why they're saying this is because, like, I saw it, I know you guys saw it, they had a sign in front there, efficiency apartment for rent. We saw that in front of that property. That's a R1 zone property. They're not supposed to have efficiency apartments in an R1 zone property. And that's why these people are saying that, because they saw this and they talked to me, and I mentioned to them, I saw the sign in front of the place too. So that's why they're saying about apartments,
Thank
about the,
Thank you.
Barbara Harney again. I just want to add something else, too. We had a truck last year, whatever, on our street for several days, and I called the police. We have a very narrow street, so that truck was blocking the flow of two-way traffic on the street, and this truck was abutting a driveway. The man could not see if he tried to pull out of his driveway. So I called the police. The officer knew exactly where the truck came from. How he knew that, I don't know. But he came out and he went to that house and got that man, and a lady came out and she said he was renting a room in that house. A couple of days, well, right after that, they moved it, and my neighbor has an odd-shaped fence. For some reason, Perk Builders did not do this with her fence that's on the highway and abutting that property. He did this, and I think it was tree roots. That man parked, oh, the truck had a breathalyzer on it. So he parked it up against her fence, and she called and reported him. He moved it. Well, she was out of town one time, and somebody crashed through her fence. She has a patio home. It might be a big two-story home, but maybe from here to here is her yard. That whatever that vehicle was, it went through the fence and crashed into her patio. And she said, if I had been sitting there, I would have been killed. So that's just one instance that we know of.
That didn't come from my property.
Well, how do you know that?
Did I prove it? Can you prove it?
All right, would you like to come speak?
Anyone else wish to speak?
No, she ain't coming over again.
I'm Annalee Kapora, 110 Berkeley, and I absolutely love our neighborhood. I do. I had absolutely no intention of moving to Harahan. I didn't like Harahan. I was a Metairie girl. We have a lovely little neighborhood. I am a dog walker. I'm a mother of two. I pick up after my dogs. And it's just wonderful. It's like nowhere else. You walk, and the neighbors come out of their house. They say hello. That's unheard of. I mean, it is a very warm, comforting environment. I'm not saying we don't lock our doors, because you do need to lock your doors, but it's a very welcoming place to be. It's a place where you feel safe. And I just don't want that to change, okay? I'm not sure about all the other technical stuff y'all are talking about. All I know is that I love our 3 little streets in Riverside, and we walk 3 times a day, and we walk right past 8250. We walk Jefferson Highway. We walk Glenwood, Berkeley Park. It's really quite, it's the nicest place to be. So I hope that makes a big difference to all of you. Nothing personal, it's just that this is where we have found a very nice home and a very nice place to live and be a part of.
Janet Janusa again. I agree with Annalee. I met her by walking her dog because I live on a different street. We do have a very nice, safe, friendly neighborhood. I ask you, council and mayor, would you want a commercial establishment in your backyard? How would that affect your life and the life of your family and your children? And that's what we're fighting for. Thank you.
Shirley Metzger, 8011 Jefferson Highway. I oppose it. I live on the highway. Mr. Chatelain, you look like you're doubtful about what she's doing with the place, whereas everybody else saw the sign, room for rent.
I'll be perfectly honest with you. I never saw a sign that said room for rent.
Well, you're the
I did
only
see a
one that
sign.
didn't.
I did see a sign out there that said for rent, but I didn't read it. That's fine.
Well,
Because
you
I'm not looking to
should.
move there.
No, that's right. You're not in the neighborhood. You don't care.
That's not
Okay?
right.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That might not be right.
Please let's lower our voices.
Okay.
We can talk to each other.
Sorry.
Thank
I
you.
do.
Okay, you got me.
Judy Yoakum, 178 Berkeley. I have lived in my little house in Riverside Park in Harahan for about 58 years. I moved to Harahan not really knowing what it was like. I had lived in River Ridge, and I am delighted, have always been delighted that I live in Harahan. Raised my children here. Several of my grandchildren live in Harahan. I don't want that to change. I really don't. And Riverside Park is not the biggest, fanciest neighborhood in Harahan, but it is a very friendly neighborhood. We want to keep it that way, that we can look out for each other. I thank you.
Hi, I'm Alicia Granier. I live at 8250 Jefferson Highway in Harahan. My home faces Jefferson Highway. It doesn't actually touch Berkeley Avenue or Park Avenue or Glenwood Avenue. I've lived in Harahan my entire life, all 35 years of my life. I grew up on Berkeley, on Glenwood, on Park, and on Gordon Avenue. For one, I wanted to point out that there are people in the neighborhood that support it. I left y'all a petition. There's 38 signatures, most of which are from the Riverside Park area. There are 5 homes that abut my property owned by John Izzo, Richard Kiddock, Charles and Crystal Crosby Jr., Peter Zito, and Miss Harney and Roy. Out of those 5 homes that abut my property, only Miss Barbara Harney is here to contest against it. And then if you look during the planning and zoning, one of the reasons that they said that my house would not qualify for general office mixed-use commercial was because the building was not at least 60 feet from the highway. So I went back to the surveyor's office to have them put on there the exact footage, and I put a copy of it on y'all's desks. It's actually 62 or 63 feet from the highway, so it is within those discrepancies. The other issue was that I have 4 lots instead of 1 lot or 2, and they were substandard lots. So my proposal for that would be to add a contingency to the rezoning that it would be contingent upon re-subdividing the 4 lots into 1 lot. And just a second. I'm nervous as heck. I don't usually talk in front of people. This is my first council meeting. If you look at the zoning map that I gave you guys, there are commercial properties. There are 13 commercial properties on the same side of the highway as I am, and then there are 10 right across the street from me. There's only 6 residential properties right there on Jefferson Highway. I feel like the one that needs to change to commercial. Like, we are the outcast, not the other way around. I know there is a general plan for Harahan that's very well known to commercialize Jefferson Highway. This is moving along forward with those plans. Because right now, as a residence, just a straight residence, people don't want to live there on Jefferson Highway. I do love that neighborhood, and this is not going to change the peacefulness of that neighborhood. There's plenty of off-street parking. The building is not going to change. We could even write that into the rezoning, that the building may not expand. The only difference that it's going to bring is to be able to advertise a small business and to be able to live there at the same time. And I don't lock my doors at night either. Just,
Move for an additional 2 minutes from Ms. Alicia if she needs it.
yes, please.
Second?
Give her 2 more minutes.
2 more minutes.
So within the Park Avenue estates, there's already a building. There's a little red brick house that is zoned C1 commercial. It's right next to the bank. It sits on Park Avenue and Jefferson Highway. And that was rezoned without any negative effects. So rezoning my property also would not have any negative effects. Let's see if there's anything else. I just wanted to point out that those are all factual things that I stated, and I know everyone here is worried about like votes, and if you vote for this, it'll be political suicide and things like that, but it's honestly, it's not. If you look at what's in front of you, and you should know what the right thing is to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm Barbara McGraw. I live at 110 Berkeley. I just want to try to clear up a couple of inconsistencies with her testimony last time we were here and just what she said now. She's talking about a juice bar or a daycare center 60 yards or 60 feet from Jefferson Highway. Has anybody gone out there to see whether or not there really is ample parking for any of those things? There are multitudes of buildings on Jefferson Highway not that far away that you could go and rent. If she wants to start a business, then she needs to start it like anybody else does. She said she's going to live in the house. Last time she said no, she wasn't. She was going to move back to Texas. So, you know, I'm a little confused with who's saying what and to whom, because I don't recognize all of you guys from last time. Was it a whole bunch different group?
You were
No?
at
Last
planning
time
and
you were in front of
zoning.
planning and zoning, you were not in front of the
That's a
city
whole
council.
different group.
Yeah. Okay, so I just wanted to make clear that what she just said is not what she said last time. Is anybody going to look into adequate parking? Is anybody going to look into what are the requirements for a daycare center? Is she going to be licensed? Is she going to be able to get a license? Who's going to be employed at that daycare center? There's a whole lot of questions here that aren't getting many answers. And I think it's a shame that you would want to go and destroy 5 other people's house safety by putting a business right there in their backyard.
I think we need to tell them no.
I guess that's it. I really don't understand what the big problem is here. I know Alicia wants to get out of the house. She's got a big loan on the house. I don't think she's making that loan, not with the rentals that she's got. And it just doesn't seem fair to those who have been here for so long. Thank you.
Move to close public comment.
Yeah, y'all have already been up to speak twice already. We know your opinion. Thank you.
Move to close.
All right.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to close public hearing by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Buddy. We'll now open for public hearing to close public hearing. No one coming forth will close public hearing. All right, we'll go into council discussion.
If I may.
You may.
So just to your concerns back there, that this is a whole different group. I actually spent an hour and a half of my time earlier today listening to that last meeting. So I know everything that was said in that meeting at the podium. We are an informed council, whether you believe it or not. We are an informed council, and we do what we can to do the best at this job. One thing I will address personally to Ms. Barbara, but also a couple of others, just because, you know, what we do on Facebook, I don't like to bring it up, but it's just rabble-rousing a lot of times. And Ms. Barbara, you're absolutely wrong on some of the things you say. So I'm going to correct one because I want to make sure that everybody knows exactly what they're talking about. Ms. Barbara's got an issue that, that we brought this up for first reading before it went to planning and zoning. That is absolutely allowed. In fact, I'm going to point you to the state statute so you can go look at it. It's revised statute 334726, section A, and at the last part of it, it reads, the legislative body shall not hold its public hearings or take action until it has received the final report of the zoning commission. We've not held a public hearing or taken action until after the zoning commission hearing. Just want to clear that up because I know that's been a point of contention for some. To the property itself, I listened to the meeting for the planning and zoning. They had some concerns. I don't know if, I know others had a chance to listen to it, and I think some of the concerns are valid. One of the concerns was that it's 4 lots of record currently, and they'd like to see it consolidated down to the one legal size lot. And the other concern was whether someone who does not own the property outright can make a zoning request, and if it would, I don't care whether she's making the payments on her loan or whatever, but it is about, does she have the right as not holding full title to make the change to the property? I don't know the answer to that, because that was just brought up as an issue to me through the recording today. So I don't know what everyone else's intention is on this property. I'm generally not generally opposed to it, but I would like to see some other things happen before it's fully considered. So my move tonight would be to defer it until we can figure some of those things out. But obviously, I know that I need votes for that as well, so.
I'd like to have my discussion before I make any
Yeah, for sure.
recommendations.
Thank you.
So people came up to this podium tonight, and they're going to sit there and accuse me that I know what's going on over there. I know who's renting there. I know what's living there and that stuff. That's not accurate. I'm going to tell you right now. I told this young lady, bring some neighbors, direct neighbors, in favor of this, and I'd be very strong supporter of this. So for y'all to come up here and accuse me already like I have my mind set, you're dead wrong. I look over stuff like this. I'd talk to the exact neighbors directly to the house that would be affected the most. Y'all asked a question about who's going to live there, what business is going to be there, what parking is going to be there. That's not what's on the agenda tonight. On the agenda is to change the zoning. Once you change the zoning, someone needs to come in and ask for a permit to put a daycare. And you want to put a daycare in there, you better go get a license from the state. You need a license from the city. You need a license from the Board of Health. We don't dictate all of that. So once she gets all that, then she could come back and ask for a daycare. Then we could see if she's got adequate parking for how many people she can have there and times and hours and stuff like that. So for her to come in here and ask for a zoning change, that's nothing to do with what type of business goes there. She could come back and do a zoning change and stay living there, you know. I'm in favor of Councilman Asbill with this deferral because I will go knock on every neighbor's door right there directly affected by this. And I'll listen and speak to them, and I'll do a little more homework to see, because if I sit there and tell you I didn't see a sign that said room for rent, I didn't see a sign that said room for rent. I don't live next door. I read this.
Please.
You said you live next door. You said you live there. Your property adjoins the property. I drive down Jefferson Highway a lot. I see for sale signs, for rent signs all over. Do I read every one? No, I'm not interested in renting or selling or buying right now. If I was, I'd be over there reading that sign very fine. Thank you.
Councilman Buddy.
So I'm ready to vote against it tonight. If we vote for this, we're creating 4 substandard commercial lots. That alone is reason for me to vote against it. I don't need to defer it. I'm not going to vote for 4 substandard lots. So I think before the application has any merit, there needs to be a commercial-sized lot that we're rezoning. The second thing is, and I spoke with Ms. Grania this afternoon, she called me a couple of times. And I have, in the past, voted for spot zoning when the adjoining neighbors were in favor of it. I think I've done that 3 times. Some of the members on this council voted probably the same way I did, but we had adjoining neighbors in favor of it and no adjoining neighbors, residential, opposed. I don't see any adjoining neighbors in favor of this. So if we defer it, I don't know what's going to change. But again, this property is not ready to be rezoned. I think it would probably violate some ordinance or state law if we created a 4 substandard commercial lots. And that's what we would be doing by voting for this. So the horse came before the cart. Sorry, the cart came before the horse. Thank you. You were a little slow and that helped.
I know, I was getting ready to tell you.
So anyway, that's where I stand with it. I think it's not well thought out. I don't see neighbors, adjoining property owners in support. And that's my litmus test, because if somebody were going to rezone the property next to me, I would want my input to carry the most weight. I'm generally not in favor of spot zoning also, generally. Although, like I said, I voted for spot zoning at least 3 times since I've been on the council.
Councilor Johnson?
Well, first thing, lady mentioned that I'm worried about committing political suicide. I've been here, I've represented Harriet for 26 years. That's the furthest thing people know from me, worried about committing political suicide. I'm going to vote what the neighborhood feels. I've heard a lot of people didn't like the way I voted. I'm totally against this rezoning. As simple as that. I don't want to defer it. I want to move on it tonight, and I want to vote against it. The neighborhood's against it. They don't want it. You might want it at the end of the road, at the end of Glenwood. She's got 14 out of 36 signatures. They're on Carolyn Drive, West Street, 6800 block of Jefferson Highway. They're not even by the neighborhood of 40, a third of the signatures aren't in the neighborhood. And the ones she has are in the back where they're not the neighbors. The neighbors that live but the property are against the rezoning. And I saw the sign, and that's why I mentioned early, efficiency, and Eric, you probably didn't see it. I saw it, efficiency apartment for rent. And when I saw it, I came to City Hall, and I told Molly, I mentioned to the mayor, she's got an apartment, a sign saying efficiency apartment for rent. And that's an R1 zone. She can't do that. So I think you sent Molly over there, Mayor, and she checked it out. I didn't find out what happened to it, but she did go out there and check it out. But I'm totally against it. Would like to vote on it tonight. I don't want to defer it. I don't want to let this lady hang in. Just let's go and move on it. That's what I want to do.
And I'd like to comment, too, that I drive up and down Jefferson Highway probably as much as most people in the city, and I noticed a for sale sign, and I believe I noticed a for rent sign, but I did not notice an efficiency apartment for rent sign. It may have been there.
It was.
I don't doubt it. I'm just saying that I didn't notice it. Not disputing the fact that it was there. So, in support of Councilman Chatelain, I didn't notice it. I suspect some other people did not notice it, and I suspect a lot of other people did notice it. Thank you.
I move to defer.
So we have a motion about defer. Do we have a second to defer?
I'll second.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Nay.
Nay.
So that's 2 yeas, 2 nays. We're going to call for the vote. So we're going to call for the vote on the ordinance. Since I'm the tiebreaker, I'm guessing that's how it's going to be. All right, on proposed ordinance number 2023-20, all in favor?
Yay. For deferral? I mean,
No,
for,
Voting on the proposed zoning change.
zoning for the change?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
All right, so all in favor?
Nay.
All opposed?
I'm sorry.
Yay.
Nay, nay, nay,
Nay.
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 4 nays.
4 nays.
4 nays.
4 nays, 0 yeas, 1 absent. And the reason why I call for the vote, just to be clear, because this is a very technical issue. Tom and I have spoken about this in length, and it is because it's 4 lots, and we are illegally creating 4 commercial lots. It's not, and of course, the neighbors are completely against it, but creating 4 lots of record that are commercial, that are substandard, is just not doable, and can wreak with the recourse and the exposure back on the city could be pretty monumental. So we have to go with technicalities first, especially on this one, and then, of course, the neighbors are just not in favor of it, and again, you got to listen to what your neighbor says.
So, Ms. Alicia, just a little word of advice, you know what the path is now. If you have the gumption to go down that path, you know what the path is now, to go to the resub and then bring it back and for consideration if you want to go down that path.
Just for the record, you can go to 1 full lot, and I will be against it. But I'm only 1 vote. So,
All right, Madam Clerk.
Just for the
proposed
record, she came here, she went through the process, she followed the proper channels, and what happened was government doing its work.
that's right.
I'm sorry, what happened was what?
Government doing its work.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, Madam Clerk, we'll move on proposed ordinance number 2023-24.
Proposed ordinance.
Before we do that, before I forget, make a motion to bring proposed ordinance 2023-30 from the floor to amend the agenda to add it to first reading.
So we have a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Chatelain to bring proposed ordinance 2023-30 from the floor. And I'm asking for unanimous consideration on this, and we have to have it anyway. This is basically an ordinance updating our court ordinance, giving Colonial the availability to go in and make mailboxes uniform with the neighborhood.
In front of the house.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's.
Okay, so we have 4 yeas, 1 absent to bring it from the floor. So Madam Clerk, please add it to the agenda.
Yeah.
Proposed ordinance number 2023-24. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill and seconded by Councilman
Second.
Chatelain. An ordinance amending the Harahan Comprehensive Zoning Law, ordinance number 1333, relative to signage size requirements.
May I say one thing real quick? I'm just thinking about it, and when you're 75 years old, you tend to forget later, you know? So earlier, I think Barbara mentioned about putting the addresses on the ordinances on when they do, like, taxes or what we do. I'm just thinking that when I was mayor, and I'd like to see, Kara, if you could check back, I thought we did that we put an ordinance that we would put addresses on, zoning changes or sub.
Applications.
Yeah, would you check and see? I know we talked about it.
We all,
So that's an yeah, I'm sorry.
from here on out, it will be done. This one
Yeah.
just got a little bit ahead of us. But
Okay,
from
well,
here on out,
I'm
we
not
make
sure if we
the
did
address
it.
down.
I know when I was mayor, we did discuss that, but
Yep.
you don't want to talk about the past. I'm
No.
just saying, I just wanted to ask if you
They've,
could check and see.
Mr. Paul, I've requested that they do it, and that's something they can make that change administratively in-house. So
Okay,
they're going to
good.
start doing that on that stuff.
And I agree, that's a great idea, because none of us know what a legal description, what
Right.
property
Right,
is.
and that was discussed many years ago.
I mean, 1 out of 1,000 people can figure it out.
Okay, so we'll open for
Thank you,
public
Mayor.
hearing. If anyone wanting to come speak on proposed ordinance number 2023-24, public hearing is now open. No one coming forth. Public hearing is now closed. Council discussion. Councilman Asbill.
Council, this is an ordinance to put in a specific sign size requirement for the rezoning and re-subdivision request. This was discussed, in fact, one of our great citizens who doesn't come to the meetings anymore, Ms. Johnson, actually brought this up, and I thought it was a great idea to require a certain size sign. You'll see that the ordinance is unchanged except for the sign size there. It's adding that underlined portion. The sign shall be a minimum size of 24 by 36. Not stuck to that sign size. If you want 10 by 10 billboards on the house, we'll do that too. It's just up to the council. The only change I have from the floor on this, I am going to make an amendment to the effective date to make it effective January 1st, 2024. That would give the administration some time to design and order new signs and budget for new signs to make that work.
I second amendment.
So you have a proposed ordinance, proposed amendment on the floor for 2023-24.
I'd like to just make a quick comment on it. I think this is a good size. One of my personal peeves has been the little bitty signs that if you're driving down the street, you can't read it. So
Right.
this will be a lot easier. The purpose is to notify the area residents of what's going on, and it's just is going to make that a little bit easier for any re-subdivision, rezoning issue that comes forward. So
And to clarify, this is more in line with what the parish does as well, their size
Yeah.
of sign.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to go with
Move
your
for the vote.
amendment?
Oh, move to amend the ordinance to provide an effective date of January 1st,
So we have a motion on
2024.
the floor by Councilman Asbill. We're now open
Second.
for public hearing.
I'm sorry.
Anyone coming to speak forth? No one coming forth. We'll now close to make the effective date January 1st, 2024. We have a second by Councilman Buddy. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
4 yeas, 1 absent.
Move to approve
Madam
as
Clerk,
amended.
It is amended. The ordinance is amended. We have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Chatelain, to approve ordinance number 2023-24 as amended. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
4 yeas, 1 absent. Madam Clerk.
Ordinances for introduction. Proposed ordinance, the following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Johnston. Proposed ordinance number 2023-25, an ordinance to place no parking signs along the 100 block of Oak Avenue. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Chatelain. Proposed ordinance number 2023-26, An ordinance amending ordinance number 1959, the annual budget of revenues and expenditures for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023 for the capital project fund of the City of Harahan, Louisiana for maintenance. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Chatelain. Proposed ordinance number 2023-27, an ordinance amending ordinance number 1959, the annual budget of revenues and expenditures for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023 for the capital project fund of the City of Harahan, Louisiana for sewer lift station 9 rehab. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill. Proposed ordinance number 2023-28, an ordinance to adopt the 2024 annual holiday calendar, which will supersede Ordinance 1361 relative to the section titled Holidays. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill. Proposed ordinance number 2023-29, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the City of Harahan to implement and execute a new 457B retirement plan effective January 1st, 2024. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill. Proposed ordinance number 2023-30, an ordinance establishing the type of mail delivery service for new residential structures within the City of Harahan. Old business number 1, Board of Adjustment dismissal and appointments.
I know there's no consideration for candidates for the Board of Adjustment and Appeals. However, Councilman Johnson, if you don't mind, I'll bring up a great point of what Councilman Johnson and then I discussed, and it's a very important board. It is probably one of the most important boards that we have here. Not even the council can override their decisions, and they make the final decision on whether you can actually change the law and what you choose to do with modifying your property. We're going to try to talk into maybe making it a paid position, so maybe we can bring some interest in, because this board is so very important, and we just having a lot of struggling to get participation, and we think that maybe making it a paid position maybe worth somebody's while to become a part of it. We will set certain criteria on that. We won't be to anyone just can be involved. We'll actually have to come up with that criteria. You'll have to have so much business experience, maybe real estate experience or zoning or experience and
Lawyers, something like that.
yeah. And so we're going to try to really start to refine and try to hone in on seeing if we can get some members to join that board.
May I say something, Mayor?
Yes.
I've mentioned it more than one time. This Board of Adjustment is a very, very important board. It affects your neighborhoods. And as the mayor said, this council cannot override the Board of Adjustments. The only way we can do it is if we sue them. We have to take them to the 24th court. And that's the only way we can do it. It's very important we have people here on this board that know the law, know the city, know what's best for our community. And when we do sit down and figure out how much we're going to, because the parish pays their board members certain amounts of funds. They pay per diem to them to go on their boards. We have a criteria. We got to have what they be qualified. They got to have certain background on what they're doing. I mean, they got to have something. We can't just hire Joe Blow off the street to be on the board. We can't do that because they don't know. And we just need to have people there that's going to know what's going to be best for our community. And that's what the mayor was talking about. So we're going to get together and see what happens. In case, maybe you can resign and be on the Board of Adjustments because you're a lawyer. You're good. You're good.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a motion to defer by Councilman.
Well, before we go there, if the parish has a pay scale in effect, they're pretty good with their procedures. And
Yes, sir.
they may have something to use as a template to work from, so I'd suggest you get a copy of that.
You can check with the parish.
Yeah, and start with that and see if you need to tweak it.
Mr. Wade, do you want this one? It's not up for you tonight, but it's yours today.
Okay, so we have a motion to defer by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Chatelain. All in favor?
Yay.
4 yeas, 1 absence. Madam Clerk.
Old business number 2, bird nuisance complaint.
Deferred.
Move
I'll
to
make a
defer.
motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Johnston to defer, second by Councilman Chatelain. We're open for public hearing. No one coming forth. All in favor to defer?
Yay.
Yay.
4 yeas, 1 absent. Madam
Guys, we're
Clerk.
basically deferring that because the
They're out of town.
people out of town said they couldn't be here last month, so they just asked if we could push it to the following meeting.
New business number 1, Todd Turnion, Finance Director, monthly financials.
Good evening, Council, Mayor. Just a brief update from the finance team. We continue to work on the closeout through September 30th, 2023. We continue to see sales tax amounts for the general fund and the special fire sales tax to be over budget, so that's a positive for the overall city. We're working on updating our projections through the end of the year. We have kind of a draft of our little worksheet that we use for the budget meetings, so we're making some progress there. We'll work with the mayor and the city clerk to schedule the budget hearing in early December, probably after the budget amendment at the November meeting. We wanted to give the council an update. We met with FEMA. The city has a standing meeting with several of the FEMA representatives and state representatives in reference to the city's FEMA claims from Hurricane Ida damage. Just to let the public know and the council know, we have 12 obligated projects that the city had already spent money on and received some reimbursements on. There are an additional 12 or 14 other projects at the recreation facilities, playgrounds, firehouse, several of the sewer facilities that we are still working with FEMA and the state representatives on reimbursement and the scope of those projects. So just wanted to give that brief update that we continue to be in regular communication with the state and FEMA representatives. Continue to hope to receive some additional reimbursements soon, but don't know ultimately when that will happen.
Mr. Todd, real quick.
Yes.
The 14 that you mentioned, those other projects, is that projects we haven't received anything for yet?
We have received $0 on those additional 14 because those projects have not been assigned a PW by FEMA and they are not obligated by FEMA.
Gotcha.
So we have, but the city has spent money on those projects, and I don't have that exact amount in front of me tonight, but the city has
What
encouraged.
project was that? I didn't hear JC talk real low and I got the air conditioner behind me.
There are 14 other projects that we have not, that we've started to spend money on, but we've not been assigned a PW or received any money from FEMA yet.
0 on the 14.
On 14 projects.
On 14. Now, on the first 12 projects, we spent around 3.2 million, and we received about 2 million, 2.1 million. So there's still about $1 million still that the city owes us on some of the older projects. So we just wanted to give that update. Lastly, the external auditors were here maybe a few meetings ago to present the results of the audit. We had 2 recommendations from the auditors. One was related to the overall payroll process and some of the documentation there. And we're working with a new outsourced payroll provider and implementation of a new system. So just wanted to let the council know that that's in process of resolving during this year. And the other observation was a budget recommendation, and we're working on updating our budget projections through the end of the year in preparation of the budget meetings and budget amendments at the December council meeting.
Todd, I'm disappointed. This is October, and we haven't seen a financial statement that provides any information on where the city stands regarding the budget. I mean, I don't think that's acceptable. That's a backsliding. We've made progress every year I've been on this council, I think, in financial reporting, and this year seems to be a huge backslide. So we're going to have a meeting in November, and I haven't seen anything as to whether we're over budget or under budget. We have something for first reading that would be an additional expenditure regarding retirement funds. I'm flying by the seat of my pants in the dark, and that's just not right, and we all are. So we need to do better. I don't know what it takes, but you and the mayor really need to do better in that regard. Thank you.
Madam Clerk?
Thank you.
New business number 2, Civil Service Board reappointment, Chairwoman Ms. Barbara Windhorst and University Representative Dr. Glenn Landry.
Okay, we're now open for public hearing. Anybody want to speak on the Civil Service Board reappointments? No one coming forth, and we'll now close public hearing. Council discussion?
Mayor, the university appointed Landry, correct?
They recommend it.
They've done it now?
Yes, because they have
Yes,
to be
there's a
reappointed.
letter.
Oh, he reappointed them? Okay.
So
all
they
right.
expired in July
And
29.
what university did?
Loyola. I sent you the letter.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Yep,
And
Miss Barbara
Miss
and
Barbara was, that's us?
Yes, that's us.
Okay, that's good. I just wanted to know, get them correct.
they're both on the list that we
Okay.
received from Loyola.
All in favor?
Wait, I'd like to make a comment first, that the members that serve on that board are all volunteers. Well, I'm sorry, we have a couple of volunteers, and I guess we have some employees of the city that likely are paid for that time. But what those folks do is, that's a difficult position, and has been over the last few years. And I, for one, and I think all of the council and the mayor and the police chief are very thankful for the time those folks contribute to this community. And that's not an easy board. If you think planning and zoning is tough, being on the civil service board, I think, is tough to the third power. So I just want to say how much we appreciate that. And the two people that we're discussing tonight have served on the board for some time. They're very knowledgeable. And they're at all the meetings, and they do a great job. So I want to thank them for that.
All right, all in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
4 yeas, 1 absent. Madam Clerk?
New business number 3, appoint city humane officer.
Okay, well, for public hearing, anyone who wants to speak? No one's coming forward, we'll now close public hearing.
This is a, I'm sorry, we open discussion?
Yep, go ahead.
No. This is a position that's required in our code. I don't know that we have anybody that fits this position within the city. So I'm also so I'd like to defer this, but I am working on a code amendment to basically eliminate the position and assign it to the more appropriate city
Justified.
official.
Yeah.
So you would say, take that out and say the regulatory director?
Correct.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, Jason.
Yeah. So I'd move to defer this for now until I finish that amendment.
Second?
Okay. So we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill to defer. We have a second by Councilman Buddy. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
4 yeas. I would like to say one thing about this humane officer, and this is why it's coming up. People with excessive amount of pets, the complaints, I guess what happened from my understanding is that through Ida, people got bored and started going out and got pets, and now life has really started to ramp back up, and they're no longer taking care of their pets, and the city is now having to deal with the responsibility of it. I know we have one lady that it's more than that for her. It's that we think it's she's having some emotional problems, and I think she's got hundreds of cats in her yard. And it's just not acceptable to all of the neighbors. And so we are going to start enforcing humane regulations. And so please, if you have your pet, please follow the law. We have leash law here. If your dog poops on someone's and they get record of it, you will be cited. So please don't do it. And if you have 300 cats, let's try to get it down to about like 1 or 2. So that really works. All right, thank you.
New,
I think we do have an ordinance that limits the amount of animals you can have in your house.
The problem is that we don't have our
feral
authority is not
cats
where
you're
it
talking
needs to
about?
be. Yeah, its
Yeah.
authority is not where it needs to be, and we have these feeders, and that feed them, and we trying to work with the parish right now, and I'm hoping that's what Councilman Asbill is referring to, is maybe putting our cooperative endeavor agreement with us and the parish to give them the legal ability to come in here and do what they need to do in some of these situations, because we don't have the facility to
Right.
go out and pick up 200 cats and mail them to California. Because that's what they do to actually relocate them. They have sanctuaries for them in California, and they'll take a lot of them and relocate them. And this one lady, she had literally so many cats you couldn't count them. The Humane Society for Justice and Parish worked with us on this, got the cats away. We came back out a week or 2 later, same thing.
And
Because
I
she's
believe
feeding
they
them.
spay and neuter them, so.
Yeah, and that's going to be a new thing we're going to come in, and I know we're going to get a lot of pushback on this one, because you're going to have to register your pet. You're going to have to register your pet with the city to where we know what you have. If you're a breeder, you'll have to register as a breeder. If you're not a breeder, look, we're gonna start trying to enforce some spay and neutering to keep this regulations down so we don't have to deal with feral. Or you can register your dog as you don't want to spay or neuter, but at least we know it's on the books. I mean, it's literally, no joke, it has really gotten this out of hand.
Well, I thought we had a cooperative agreement with the parish on
They're
this.
saying
They say we don't have it?
They're saying we don't. So,
Well,
Put under
it
police
depends
department's
on,
jurisdiction,
Right.
pet registration.
Yep.
that don't sound right.
Yeah.
We've always worked with the
They're
parish.
saying, I shouldn't say that we don't or not, they're saying it isn't where it needs to be.
Whatever they say, Pat.
Yes, sir, yeah, no, all right, Madam Clerk.
New business number 4, 2024 council meeting dates.
Okay, we'll open for public hearing. Anyone coming forth? No one coming forth. We'll close public hearing. Council discussion on council meeting dates. I'm guessing it's remaining the third Thursday of every month at 6:30.
With the exception of February.
Council, the February meeting would be the week of Mardi Gras. We're probably gonna wind up moving it anyway, so if we can move it now, that'd be great. So it's just.
So, I mean,
moving
that's what we're doing here, though. We're moving it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, good, very proactive, thank you.
Move it to,
So it would
It'll
be
the fourth Thursday. in
February
February.
22nd.
In February. There's 5 Thursdays in February.
It's on your list, February 22nd.
22nd.
Okay, so we have a motion on the
Okay,
floor to
whatever day
move.
y'all put, I'm fine.
We have a motion on the floor to amend the council
Whatever
meeting
day, I'm
dates.
good.
It's already on the list. I don't know if you have to
It's
amend
already on
it.
there. I just wanted to point it out.
Oh, sweet, perfect. Let's
Yeah.
go with it. All right, all in favor?
Move to approve.
All in
Yay.
favor?
Yay.
4 yeas, 1 absent. Madam Clerk.
New business number 5, Miss Judith Roman, on behalf of St. Rita, asks for assistance in planning the annual Feast of Christ the King procession. The procession is scheduled for Sunday, November 26th, 2023, after the 11:30 Mass. In the past, the city has been most gracious to provide barricades and/or a police escort as we process around the route. I respectfully request the inclusion of this event on the city council agenda to obtain the necessary approvals.
Okay, anyone wanting to come speak on new business number 5? No one coming forward. We're now closed public hearing, council discussion.
Chief? All good?
All good.
All right, we're all good. All in favor?
Yay.
4 yeas, 1 absent. Madam Clerk, number 6.
New business number 6, Planning and Zoning Board appointment.
Okay, again, do we have any? No, we have none,
There's
so we have a
2 spots
motion.
available, just so we know though.
Yeah, we do have 2 spots available,
2 spots. Yes, sir.
And thank you, Councilman Asbill.
Looking for volunteers.
Yep, so we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill to defer, second by Councilman Chatterley.
Scott, can a councilman serve on the board? You don't think so?
All right, we'll open for public hearing. No one coming forth. All in
Appoint
favor?
Jason Asbill to the board.
All in favor on the deferral?
Moved. Yay.
4 yeas, 1 absent.
What we're doing.
Madam Clerk?
New business number 7, Dear Honorable Council members and Chief of Police, I hope the present finds you well. I am hereby requesting permission to allow spirits at a cake and sip at Cafe Carib on 10/20/2023 from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. I would like to provide 1 complimentary specialty drink, dessert related to each paying class attendee, and would like to be able to allow them to bring their own spirits. This is only an hour-and-a-half class, and we hope to host 30 adults. The owner of Sweet Tooth Bakery will be teaching the class. Again, as the children's class we held last month was a success, and the request for an adult class has been popular. I pray for your approval of my request for spirits during class. I would also like to take this opportunity to invite all to our family Halloween hoopla to be held Sunday, October 29th from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. We will have trick-or-treating, costume contest, photo booth, Halloween music, and lots of fun for the families in the neighborhood and surrounding areas. Look forward to hearing from you. Have a blessed day. Sincerely, Lorena Barrera Lopez, Cafe Carib, NOLA.
Okay, we'll now open for public hearing. Anyone want to discuss new business number 7? No one coming forth. We'll now close public hearing. Council discussion?
I am not in favor of this. I think this is a circumvention of the state alcohol permit laws. I'll be voting no against it.
I was going to ask, it's my understanding that besides the city's permission, they need to have an alcoholic and beverage permit. Is that a fair?
This is an operating, profitable business, well, presumably profitable business. It's not a nonprofit association who's coming in for a one-time thing. This could be reoccurring, and I'm against it.
But
Nonprofits have this.
am I correct? I'm not sure anyone knows, so I'm not putting anybody on the spot, but I thought even for the St. Rita Fair.
Yes, they have a
They
state
need to
liquor
work under
license.
somebody's license.
They have a
They
state
have their
liquor
own
license,
license.
correct.
Okay, so.
Because they're a
we can't-
nonprofit.
I agree with Councilman Asbill that I don't think we have the authority to approve this.
Is anybody here from Cafe Carib? No? Okay. I call for the vote, unless there's other discussion.
I agree with you.
Okay.
All right.
They went to you first. I agree with you.
Move the
But you
vote.
A, and I'm J. So I'm fine with that.
Just jump in there next time.
All in
No,
favor?
I'm fine.
All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Nay.
No,
I'm-
wait.
I'm
All in
not
favor?
Nay.
Defer?
I'm-
No, in favor of granting the.
No.
Oh,
Nay.
Recall the vote.
Nay.
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 All right, y'all sure?
Nay.
Sure, nay.
All right, 1 absent, 4 nays. Madam Clerk?
Address the council.
Okay, if anyone would like to address the council, please come forward, state your name and address at the council. And state your name and address at the podium. What's that?
Nobody's at close.
No one coming, will now close address the, no.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Paul with Harahan Fire Department.
Paul, what's your last name, please?
Ostringer. I'm
Okay,
sorry,
thank you,
Mayor.
Mr. Paul.
Some of y'all may have noticed the last few days, and in the coming weeks, there's going to be an increase in activity for Harahan Fire Department vehicles out on the street, pretty much canvassing the neighborhood citywide. This is the time of the year that we do the inspection and testing of all of the fire hydrants in the city. It's an essential part of fire protection or any fire ground that we know that we have a reliable water source. We just had 3 considerations or things that we'd like to mention to the public. The first one, which is paramount, is the resident safety. Please, it's kind of becoming common to decorate hydrants, to change the paint scheme to their favorite college team or things of that effect, or place things there, whether it's decorations for holiday events, anything that can obstruct the view or change the color coding on it. Okay, that's something that we rely on really heavily. Please notify us, notify your neighbors if you encounter that, so that we can address it. Second thing is the safety of our personnel. You will see our vehicles out on the highway with emergency lighting on. And unfortunately, the human eye is drawn to flashing lights and things like that, okay? We all shake a cursor on a mouse when we can't find the cursor, and we pick it up when it starts moving. That's a problem for motorists when we have pedestrian traffic or our personnel operating immediately in the vicinity of the truck. It's pretty common that they don't see our personnel, and we have a problem with a motorist hazard. The third thing, and this is just to keep us from getting inundated and to keep you from worrying needlessly, it's also pretty common when we're doing large flows, flushing the hydrants, that you may see some bubbling in your water or tap water, discoloration or gurgling in a water heater. Okay, that system's being taxed pretty heavily when we open a hydrant, so it does have a tendency to shake things up. It poses no threat, no risk to you as for consumption, and no problem to your appliances within the home. So if there are any issues that persist after you were to flush it, just notify us, and we'll be glad to come out and make sure everything's good to go. The last thing that we had, I'd like to thank everybody for the Night Out Against Crime. The mayor, the council, and Chief LaPrey invited us to attend that. Harahan Police Department did a stellar job. We were able to really engage with the public. We did a lot of public education programs out there. That was a much bigger success than we could have ever anticipated. You guys know that Chief St. Cyr is very proactive when it comes to community risk reduction in the public education programs. So that was a golden opportunity, and we hope we can continue that going forward. Thank you all. I don't want to take up any more of your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll now close public hearing. Madam Clerk?
Secretary's report for September 2023, total revenues, $410,003.59. Reports.
All right, Chief LaPree.
Saved me for last, so Jason's got me at 3 minutes, so he wants to watch the
About to say
game.
tap 3 minutes on this one.
All right, real quick, won't take much time then. We had 663 calls for service last month. We had 8 traffic accidents. We issued 178 citations. That number's going up, so please slow down, because my officers are out there writing those tickets. We've got to slow down, especially in the school zones on Riverside, Colonial. We need to slow down. Our officers are out there being proactive, and we are making traffic stops. We had 7 patrol requests last month. With that said, we're getting ready to go into the holiday season. If you're going to be going out of town for vacations or visiting people, call the Harahan Police Department and give us a patrol request. Let us know you're going to be out of town so we can keep an eye on your property while you're out of town. You're not having to worry about that. We had 43 miscellaneous arrests, totaling the 91 total charges. 8 were felony arrests, 37 misdemeanors. We had 4 DWIs. We had 23 city arrests on municipal arrests and 19 traffic arrests. Our narcotic arrests were at 13 with 15 charges, and those charges are not just for marijuana. It's for coke, crack, heroin, and meth. We had 6 larceny arrests and 9 assaults last month in the city. Real quick, a few things. I want to thank the mayor, the city council, the city maintenance, the fire department, recreation department. What a group effort the Night Out Against Crime was. I can't thank them enough. It started out as just a little small get-together, and it turned into a very nice evening. We had great weather for the event. The city, the maintenance, the fire department, everybody was so cooperative. It went off without a hitch. We had no issues. And we will have an after-action meeting in the next week or two to see what we could do better. The food was fantastic. The volunteers that came out, I can't thank y'all enough for what y'all did to help make it. It was citizens from the Harahan that came out and volunteered their time to help serve. I was told they think there was roughly between 300 and 350 folks that showed up. And what a wonderful event. I got to thank the Harahan Police Department coming out, the Reserve Division. They all did a great job, and I want to thank them for all they did. And I want to continue, and like Paul just mentioned, the fire department and the police department, we're having a good working relationship. We need to work together. We're all under one umbrella. We're a small town, and we all need to be together and work together. We do have one officer that's in the academy right now. He's starting his 3rd week, so hopefully we'll have a new young officer coming out here in the next 2 to 3 months. December 9th, mark your calendars. There's going to be the Christmas parade for the city of Harahan. I did rename it. I mentioned it last month. We're going to rename it to the John Doyle Memorial Day Christmas Parade, as he was the founder of that parade. Halloween's coming up, like the mayor mentioned early on. Halloween's on a Tuesday this year. I know there'll probably be several thousand kids on Dozier. So we'll have the Reserve Division out. If other parts of the city are going to have functions or something, please let us know so we can send some police representation to be there to keep everybody safe. Again, I mentioned the school zones. Please slow down in the school zones in the morning. The officers are out there doing a good job writing those citations, trying to slow people down. Let's see. We need the city to be our eyes and ears to citizens. If y'all see something that's suspicious in nature, something that just doesn't seem right, call us. We'll send units out right away. Our response time is about a minute and a half to get there, and we'll be out there to investigate it. There's a lot of things going on in our world right now. Without going into too many details, we need to be very alert. Anything that's going on, we need to know about so we can respond to it. Our crime cameras that we have put up, I mentioned a while back, our cameras have been up for about 4 months now. We've already had 3 hits on the Riverside and Powerline camera, and we've already had 2 hits on the Dickory and Dock cameras of stolen cars coming through the city. So those are great assets to us. I'm hoping to eventually get more cameras to help keep us safe, but they are working. St. Rita Fair is coming up in a few weeks. There's going to be a lot of cars parked in the neighborhood. I'm asking everyone to come out and have a good time, but please don't block people's driveways. If you're going to park, make sure you park legally and don't block people from being able to get in and out of their properties. The red building next door, I call it still the red building. I don't know what we're going to call it eventually, the brown building. It's almost completed. Again, I thank the mayor and the council for what we're doing there. Hopefully, as soon as we get it open, we can have an open house and have everybody come through, just take a look at it and appreciate it. But the department, we're working together. I am looking forward to the budget hearings. I've been working on our budget, and we need to make some adjustments. It hasn't been amended, from what I understand, looks like in the last 5 years. So I'm ready for those meetings to happen so we can make those adjustments. And I thank the council. I thank the citizens of Harahan. And please call the Harahan Police Department if you need anything. We're there 24/7. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Councilman Asbill.
Just one comment. I want to congratulate all of the newly elected or re-elected officials around the state and the parish. Congratulations. Looking forward to working with every single one of them and moving Harahan forward and the rest of the parish and state. Thank you.
Go ahead.
No report.
Councilman Buddy.
I'd like to just comment on how successful the Night Out Against Crime was. It was one of the nicest community events I've ever attended, and we were blessed with beautiful weather. So if you didn't go this year, get your kids or your grandkids and your spouse and head on out next year. It's a wonderful, free to the public event. You'll see a lot of people you know, neighbors and folks you haven't seen in a while. So take advantage of it. It helps make us a little better community the more we get to know each other. Thank you.
I'd just like to echo what Jason Asbill said. I'd like to congratulate all the people that were elected, re-elected. Jeff Landry, Governor-elect, Billy Nunges, re-elected. Scott Walker, re-elected to the at-large, and Jennifer Van Rankin, elected to the at-large seat in Jefferson. I want to congratulate all of them. And they got 3 or 4 more positions that are in the runoff, and go Republicans. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Okay, I just want to basically wish everybody a happy Halloween. Look forward to seeing all you guys out there. Again, congratulations to all of the newly elected officials. I can tell you, it's not easy running a race. It's not easy being an elected official, and you really put your heart and soul into it. So congratulations to everyone who won, and I just want to wish everybody a good night. Bonsoir, a bientôt.
Bills paid in September 2023, total expenditures $536,267.53. No executive session, adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn by Councilman Chatelain, second by Councilman Johnston. All in favor?
Yay.
We are adjourned.